The entire opposition team's case and rebuttals today has completely based on the misconception that immediate happiness equals a long-term development and long-term happiness. First of all, you bring us up the case of extreme cases where children doesn't have the right to control their life. However, when children grow up, they will meet other factors and meet other people who will also encourage them to follow their dreams. But the difference here is that if they still choose to follow their passion, this is a well-informed decision about the impact that it has on their life. If you decide to go against standards in society to follow your passion, you better know about the realistic outcome now than later on when you have to deal with them directly. Now, second of all, you've told us about the modern world here is different than the past. Yes, we completely agree. But first of all, the traits and the skills that you learn from these activities that your parents make you do, like hardworking or resilience, will always be needed in any fields and in any time. Second of all, social narratives like race or financial status are not likely to change that fast and that easily. And this is the realistic ideas that parents have a hold better than children. Third of all, you stated us here is that immediate happiness, a life without immediate happiness is a life without passion, no motivations. But this is a misconception. Why? Just because you're happy now doesn't mean your future will be happy and that you're not sorry. We are preventing children from being trapped inside that convenience so that they can keep trying harder, so that they can keep experiencing that happiness on a stable and a balanced lifestyle. And that is what we're leading towards in this situation. Now, to our second argument, which is that this decision benefits children's life. First of all, parents understand the competitive labor market better. And I'm not just talking about the economic development or the economic growth. I'm talking about the social factors like social issues that can affect one's ability to get a job. And this experience is much more superior than any acknowledgement coming from the child. Any activities the parents push you to do leading to success, like piano lessons or good grades, they nurture traits like hardworking or resilience, which are again needed in all fields and all time. These are hard to develop traits that need to be done at a young age. To survive in a market that will always demand more and more from our children, they need to learn to always push their boundaries. According to the International Labour Organization, 66% of industrial labor work in Southeast Asia will be replaced by automation. And this is only one example of how competitive this labor market is. Children are living a comparatively convenient life compared to an adult. And this pressure is to help them understand, to build the mindset that they will always have to try harder. And this is exactly why it is justified. Second of all, everything that children are satisfied right now are based on the opportunities provided to them. For example, winning a competition, that competition is provided to them. In the future, they are the ones who have to find these opportunities themselves. The level of satisfaction of others will become much more higher at this time, which leads them to a higher risk of falling behind. People only work harder and push their boundaries if they're not satisfied. If this view is not expanded at a young age, then children will grow up having a passive lifestyle and only being satisfied with what they already have. And this is exactly why immediate happiness doesn't lead to long-term development, especially with the trend of globalization. They will have a harder time catching up to their mates. And it doesn't stop at an individual skill. We're creating a generation that is passive and unproductive and doesn't find room for improvement. This is our future generation while halting the progress and development of the whole world. And this impact is much more greater than any immediate happiness that we can provide right now for children. And that is exactly why it is so important for parents to put this pressure on children so that they can have this mindset when they step into the realistic modern life that you're talking about. The constantly changing market of always demanding more from our children. That is exactly why this is so justified and we're so proudly to propose. Thank you. The opposition side here today has come to the debating on this ground where parents have a tendency to be abusive and ignorant. Here's why. When you say that parents will neglect their children and strip away every source of happiness, we think that it's an unrealistic portrayal of parents and it's unfair to be debated upon. When we say that we're putting pressure here, we're aiming towards a stable career or something that parents believe are beneficial to their future. So little happy things in life will definitely not be taken away, because if parents are aware of that, that is considered abuse and not considered in this debate. Second of all, if that child is good at something and parents think they have a chance to succeed in life, no parents will be so ignorant to the point where they completely ignore that possibility and push their child towards a failure, because that's the last thing that parents would want. Now, you constantly give us the thing where we don't bring you the definition of immediate happiness or the universal idea of success, when clearly we have said it to you in the first place. This is subjective. Short-term success here, we would debate on the ground of stable career. Now, even on your best case scenario here is that child is not personally happy with the parent's decision, and that child follows a direction where they're not happy with. You still do not tackle the idea and the impact that we've listed to you, how the impact of the whole generation, how the impact of our future and a passive generation is not worth fighting for or not worth being justified. We find that also a reason why we win. You've stated an idea of innovations, but innovations can only be achieved if you're not satisfied with what you have. And that is exactly what we aim towards when we apply pressure on our children here, is that we are aiming towards something where you will constantly try harder. You will constantly try to push your boundaries to achieve something more than what you have. And that is why this is the benefits that exceeds beyond individual skills, that exceeds beyond just the child's immediate happiness. That is the generation in the future that we're talking about. And that is exactly why we think that today here we have won today's debate.